Aaron Schembri, welcome to Australian Musician.
How you going, mate? Thank you.
Good. Tell me about growing up. Was there music in the house? Were your parents musically inclined?
They'd be the first to say no. They love music, but my grandfather played music. My parents got a love for music from him. Everybody in my family loves music, and it's a good thing because there's different styles of music that come from different family members. You know, growing up, Cold Chisel was Mum and John Farnham, and Dad was AC/DC and all the Creedence stuff. I love the Creedence stuff. And then my granddad was like Dean Martin and, you know, Everly Brothers and all that sort of stuff. Chuck Berry, one of my favourite guitar players. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah. So what were the albums you played as a teen, and whose guitar licks were you trying to copy?
Oh, Angus was a big one for sure. I remember the first time I saw Thunderstruck, the film clip. I just thought, how is this guy, and I know it was a film clip, but how is this guy playing and moving around like an absolute maniac? And Angus Young's solos were the first solos I tried to learn note for note. And yeah, I was probably 9 or 10 at the time. And yeah, I honed in on him quite a lot. Yeah. And then learnt to go back. You know, Chuck Berry was his influence, and then you kind of learn where things come from, you know. So yeah.
Your first electric guitar?
An SG.
Yeah.
It was actually, Dad bought me the Angus Young signature model SG, and fast forward, you know, 10 or 12 years later, I actually got to meet Angus and I got it signed, so it's kind of been retired. But it was my first guitar. You know, I was playing in pubs at 14, 15, and yeah, that just came with me everywhere. So
tell me about meeting Angus. Was that at a concert or?
No, that was it was through a friend of mine who was working. He was working on the tour. I think it was a Rock or Bust tour, which was probably nearly 10 years ago now. It was kind of cool because I felt really tall, which doesn't happen very often. But that was a thrill, you know. He asking him about, you know, guitars and what he records with and stuff. That was a real pinch myself moment, you know. So yeah.
Have you had many mentors along the way? People have given you advice, helped you along?
Yeah, Ross Hannaford was a big one. He kind of taught me a lot, you know, not only to do with guitar, but a lot of off-stage kind of stuff, you know, even outside of music as well, like just general life stuff. So yeah, he was a very charismatic kind of, you've probably met Hannah over the years maybe, yeah. He's quite eccentric, and he'll cut to the chase and just say, hey, whatever it is you're doing is wrong. Like, and that was great because I needed that. I thought, especially being a 16, 17-year-old kid, you can get a bit one-dimensional and, you know, not follow rules.
Certainly someone to look up to.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yes. I wasn't told standing next to Ross. Yeah, so he's and one of my favourite guitar players, you know.
Fast forward to 2020, you released City Lights, your first album. You had some heavy hitters on that album: Ross Wilson, Swanee, Russell Morris, Mike Rudd, Kevin Borich, Mark Gable, Jimmy Cupples. How did you manage to get all those people on board?
One piece of advice Hannah actually gave me, he goes, just ask the question because the answer can only be no. And he said that when I said, oh man, I'm going to try and do an album but have different people singing on it. And I was spewing because Hannah wasn't alive to be able to play on it. But he goes, worst I can say is no. So yeah, got a hold of Ross Wilson and Kevin Borich and Swanee and all these other people that you mentioned, and gave them songs to sing that I wrote because I was never comfortable singing. I was quite a shy singer. I didn't think I was a good singer. So yeah, I thought, I'll give it to somebody else to sing, and then it kind of just led from there. And next thing you know, I looked at the record and it's like, geez, did I get all those people? I still pinch myself.
Yeah. And then COVID hit. At what stage of City Lights did COVID hit?
That City Lights was late 2019. I think it was September. The album took 4 years to record, but it was released in September 2019, and then obviously 2020 happened. So I managed to. I think about that a lot. I was like, wow, I was a few months away from not being able to do it.
Yeah.
And that would have been a real shame. I would have been pretty shattered, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
But
all the hard work.
like most artists, when COVID hit, destroyed any momentum
Totally.
that artists had.
Absolutely,
You couldn't
yeah.
go out and promote the album.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in a lucky kind of position because I was living at a studio, so I managed to keep myself occupied, you know, writing and recording and sending songs to different people. So COVID was kind of a blessing in disguise for me, and I'm maybe one of the few that can say that, you know, in any industry, I suppose.
Yeah. And then you released the lockdown sessions recorded during COVID.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that whole lockdown experience?
Well, the first few weeks were okay because it's like, I get to have a bit of a breathe. Like, you know what it's like when you get caught up doing what you do, you kind of forget to stop and, as they say, smell the roses. You know, there's no other way I can think of saying it. But it kind of, it certainly brought the passion of music back to me because nobody could do it, especially in front of people. So I really, really miss that.
Some other things you've done. Life is Just a Game, a song that you did with ex-Melbourne player Russell Robertson. Are you a footy fan?
I'm a Bombers man. Well, I don't know about this year. I do love my footy, and that was a song I had in the can for a little while, and I spoke to Russell, and I said, "Man, do you reckon Fight MND would take a look at the song?" And I was happy to give him the song and say, "Mate, you sing it." So he did. They got on board with it, and I was trying to think of ideas to do a promotional film clip for it. And Russell goes, "I'll get the MCG." And sure enough, he did. I go, "How'd you do that?" He goes, "Mate, I put bums on this venue." I was like, "Yeah, that's a good call." So we did this amazing clip, and apparently Neil, I didn't get to meet Neil, but Neil Danaher was pretty chuffed with that. Really proud of that one.
Renee Gayer, another legend you played with. How was that experience?
Daunting but fun.
Yeah.
And I thrive on. I was thriving on the daunting aspect of it because what better way to learn about music and playing on stage than being put in the deep end? You're on your toes, and you just don't know what's going to come your way. So it's really cool. I feel blessed to have been able to play with her. She was amazing. She really was. Vocally, I thought she was amazing.
Yeah.
You know.
Another artist you played many gigs with is Ross Wilson.
Yeah.
How did that gig come about?
It feels like this is your life. I think it was more the connection of Hannah, but when Ross Wilson came in to sing on the album, and because my first gig was not with Ross, was not long after the album launch, and Ross performed at the launch that night. It's an honour playing some of those songs. I mean, it's an amazing set list.
What's it like playing in front of like 10,000 people and playing Eagle Rock?
We did Blues Fest 21 or 22, I think it was. And I just remember as soon as Ross started the riff, it's like everything was just hitting me in the face. It was like, this is the power of a great riff, a great song, a great chorus. Everything you could dissect in a song, everything's great about it. And the fact that every single person was there with a smile on their face singing that song, I'd never seen anything like it, to be honest. Yeah. That's pretty unreal.
Another classic Australian band you've been playing with is the Wiggles.
Here it is.
How the hell did that come about?
I'd met Anthony Field quite a few years ago at some event thing, and I think during COVID we kind of, got in contact and I was sending him songs for him to play banjo on and mandolin and that, and which I haven't released any of them. But when we came out of COVID, we were doing a show with Ross in Newcastle, I think it was, and Belmont, sorry. And I was talking to Anthony. I go, mate, come down. I'm doing the solo set. Bring your banjo. Get up and have a play, you know. And he's one of those guys that just loves music, from 7 a.m. till 12 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, he just lives and breathes it. And he brought his banjo along, got up and played a couple of songs. And as he was walking out to leave the band room, he goes, "Oh, Aaron, what are you doing next Saturday?" I go, "Oh, I've actually got the weekend off." And he goes, "Oh, do you want to come and play with the original Wiggles?" I thought, yeah. Do I need to rehearse or anything? He goes, "No, you'll be right." I go, "Where is it?" He goes, "It's just Sydney Entertainment Centre." so I was just like, I got to experience that, and that was really cool. I appreciate music differently now because I was one of those kids, and I'm grateful to be playing music still now. So it's kind of full circle in a way, you know.
And what can you tell us about Dolly Parton and the Wiggles?
It's going gangbuster at the moment. Well, the last year and a bit, I've been working with them on this country album, and it kind of just just followed the path that it was destined to be on, and they got guest singers to sing songs like Dolly Parton and Lainey Wilson, the great Troy Cassar-Daley, Slim Dusty's. They brought Slim Dusty's old track into this new recording that's been done. And yeah, I was lucky enough to write a couple of songs with Lockie Gillespie, who's the Purple Wiggle, and he's an amazing singer, songwriter, and we pieced 2 songs together, and one was for Lainey Wilson and Jackson Dean. So yeah, after hearing everything finished now, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you don't get a coloured T-shirt?
No, it's funny. It depends, because like I was getting this Sgt. Pepper's jacket on stage, and which is like this red thing, and it gets really hot in it. And then some of the other shows I had like a sparkly green jacket. So I don't think I'd get away with a sparkly green jacket here at St Andrew's Hotel. Yeah, it might, yeah.
Breaking Chains, I think, was the last recorded music you put out?
Yeah, the last single last year.
Is that just an isolated single, or is that going to be part of something bigger?
It was somebody had asked me to write a song, and it was for to sort of spread word about, you know, gambling and addiction and all that sort of stuff. 2 extremes here now. So I went to work on that, and got for a podcast and all that sort of thing. But I'm really enjoying playing the song anyway, so I'm happy to keep it in a sense, you know. And a few people say they like it, so it's nice.
Any recording in the works?
Yes, Chris, who's playing bass in the band today, Chris Gatz, works at GM Studios in Melbourne, and I brought tracks over to him that I'd recorded over in Nashville at a place called Funhouse Studios, and so I'm going to try and get back into them and work them out. But before that, I've got a live kind of acoustic thing that I did at the Healesville Theatre. I was playing with Ross, and I did the solo set, so I'm going to sort of get that out, and because I'm feeling a bit more comfortable with my voice, because some of them are old songs from the first album, you know, so kind of singing them again is nice.
So tell me about your stage rig for this gig today at St Andrews.
It's just a little Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. I'm not the most tech savvy, let's go with that. I've got a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe amp. The main thing in my pedal board, I've got probably 5 or 6 pedals, but the main thing in the pedal board is a handmade tube screamer from this chap who lives in Reservoir. He's an old Italian guy, and he kept all these old parts from pedals and guitars, like original capacitors and all that sort of stuff. So he asked me, he goes, "Oh, what pedal would you like if I made it?" And I said, "Oh, probably a tube screamer." And I said, anything that's going to sound from Chuck Berry to Eric Clapton, maybe the dirtiest Eric Clapton. And I think he's done a good job with it. I take that everywhere.
The guitar that you're using today, can we have a look at that?
It's, do you know the Guitar Colonel in South Melbourne? In South Melbourne. This was on it's an ES345, and it's a stereo, so I don't know if you can see that, I saw it on the shelf in the Guitar Colonel, and I wasn't there to buy a guitar, but I saw it and I was like, I really want an ES. I love Chuck Berry, I love B.B. King, and I said, "Anthony, I'll be back tomorrow." And he goes, "I know what's going to happen, yeah." I go, "Yes, you're right." So I walked out with this beautiful thing, and it's comfortable, it sounds good, and it records really well with it too, actually. I record a lot with it. But yeah, how can you not want to play it?
Did you ever see B.B. King perform?
Nah. I never got to see Chuck Berry, I never got to see B.B. King. Buddy Guy I've seen quite a few times. But there's so many, we're all in the same boat, I suppose. There's so many people that you listen to all the time and you go, I just wish I was there to experience it, So yeah, no, I didn't.
Do you have a large collection of guitars?
Yes. There's a few. I got a couple of SGs, 3 Les Pauls, a couple of Tallys, a Gretsch. That's all I can remember at the moment. A couple of Strats. Yeah.
What's your main songwriting acoustic?
I've just got one Maton acoustic, a SRS 808. I find they're quite versatile, and I tune it down a step, so you kind of get this sort of warmer. I feel like I get a warmer sound out of it. So it was either Cole Clark or Maton when I was looking, and I just gravitated to the Maton. Yeah. Still make good guitars.
So what's coming up for the rest of 2025?
Yeah, it's. I could be playing with Ross. I could be playing with the Wiggles. I could be doing my own thing. It's good because it keeps it interesting. So I could be anywhere. I really want to get out some more music because it's been a while since. Well, the album was 2019, but so I really want to try and get some more stuff out and then do some gigs off the back of that.
What are you most proud of in your career so far?
That's a good question. I've never been asked that. I'm quite proud of the fact that people are happy to want to work with me. I don't know if that sounds egotistical, but I am, you've got to be a good person before anything else, One of the things I remember Hannah telling me, he goes, you could be the greatest guitar player in the world, but if you're an arsehole, no one's going to want to deal with you. And that's always kind of stuck in my head. I'm pretty, there's things I've done along the way that I'm pretty proud of. I'm proud that people want to involve me. It's special. It's special.
All right, Aaron. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Good to see you.